Let's now flash the board's operating system using a keyboard, mouse and monitor. Let's first see what I have on the table here. So besides the board, we have an HDMI cable going to a monitor or capture card in this case, and we have an HDMI to micro HDMI adapter. So let's plug that in. So the board has a micro HDMI output. And then for my keyboard, I have a wireless keyboard which has a radio transmitter. It also has a mouse. So the transmitter is connected to a USB-C adapter, USB to USB-C. I plug that in here to the OTG port side. And then finally we need to connect the power cable and press the button to power on the board. Now what we should be seeing next on the monitor is the board booting up, and after a while we will see the graphical user interface desktop appear. And we can use this desktop then to open a console, and then in the console we can execute a command to force the board to boot into flashing mode. Here we go, we are running the desktop now. And if we look at the instructions here, we see that we are supposed to execute sudo reboot bootloader. Okay, I'll take my keyboard mouse combo. We move the cursor to the top left, open a console, and we type in here sudo space reboot bootloader and enter. And now that the board is rebooting to bootloader mode, we have to disconnect the USB keyboard mouse wireless transmitter here. And we have to plug in again the USB-C data cable going to our computer. This data cable is then used to flash the operating system image. Note that the board has a red light, which means that it's ready to receive an image. We switch back to the computer here. We are in the Mendel image folder that we downloaded, and now we execute bash flash.sh. And there we go. The board was waiting for the fast boot information. The USB-C data cable that we connected from the board to the computer and we executed the flashing command is now uploading this brand new Mendel operating system image to the eMMC card on the board and writing it on the card. And once the flashing finishes, the board will reboot and boot up to the new operating system version. So let's give it a moment to flash the image, and then we are done with the operating system flashing. Okay, the flashing has been completed. Now the board is rebooting, and the first boot up to the brand new operating system will take a few minutes. It will resize the file system, etc. So the MDT tool has a handy way of waiting for the board to come up and then it will connect. However, note here that if you are on macOS Catalina or later, then please go back to the module MDT on macOS or go forward to the module MDT on macOS after this module to see how you can use MDT on macOS Catalina and Big Sur. If you are on Linux, Windows 10 or macOS before Catalina, you can use the MDT command to connect to the board directly using the USB cable. That's the end of this module, flashing with the keyboard, video and mouse. Now please select your next path. Again, if you're on Mac Catalina or newer, select macOS MDT, or if you have another operating system on your host, select first boot of the board.